no, but may I be allowed to answer the question?
Of course.
The reality is the President of the United States, way back in April, should have been aware of the fact that this consulate was under siege. Then all of a sudden in June, he gets a hole blown in the wall of this consulate. He shouldn't have to pin it on David Petraeus or Hillary Clinton, or if he's the president, he should be aware of this from his security briefings. What we need to know is, was he briefed on the prior attacks? Did he know of the prior attacks? When this attack took place, please let me finish. When this attack took place, did it key into him that there had been prior attacks at exactly this spot, a spot in which the British consulate had moved their consulate just a few weeks earlier? Now, if all that information was known to the president, then, of course, there was a cover-up. If it wasn't known to the president, well, then maybe he was misled by the CIA. I don't know the answers to that. The administration is stonewalling here. They're not giving explanations. We still don't know if the president was aware of the prior attacks.
So let me ask another question. I don't know if you caught Matthew Dowd, he's an ABC News political contributor, and here is what he said about when he was working at the time and weapons of mass destruction had been discovered. I'm going to play a little chunk of what he said.
But I think, let me just say one thing to put this Benghazi thing in context of, like, why don't we have answers and where are they? What is? I worked for President Bush. We had a president and an administration for years made an argument about weapons of mass destruction for years, and now we've lost thousands of lives over in Iraq based on a false assumption and all of that. This is not, it wasn't 2 weeks. This was months and months and months of a conversation where we never answered to this, and we still today, nobody in the administration at a high enough level.
And the point is that our intelligence gathering is bad.
So he is the chief strategist, right, for Bush Cheney, and so he's even saying that after weeks it would be even talking about weapons of mass destruction. It took years before they were even able, and they still don't have the right answer, that by jumping on so quickly and expecting sort of accurate final answers within weeks is I guess, unfair in a way.
This is what?
Well, I'm saying he's saying...
We're going to blame this on Bush, too? We're going to blame... In other words...
You've got to stop putting words in my mouth, sir. Seriously, hang on. Let me finish. Because every time I ask you a question...
I want to answer the question.
I'm going... And let me finish my point. Every time I ask you a question, you like to push back as if somehow the question that's being posed to you is unfair. It's not. I'm a journalist. You said some things. I'm trying to get some accurate responses from you. You are welcome to answer. Go ahead.
Okay, here's the answer.
Thank you.
That sounds to me like we're trying to blame it on Bush. It's absurd to blame Benghazi on Bush. All the president has to do is answer a simple question. Did he know about the consulate attacks that took place before September 11 of 2012? There were 2 of them, one of which blew a hole in the embassy wall. Also, did he know that the British consulate, which was basically next door, that they moved out because of the tremendous number of risk to that consulate? If he knew all that, which would only take like a few minutes to answer the question to.
So you realize that. When I played that chunk for you, that's not what Matthew Dowd is saying. Let me finish my point. What Matthew Dowd is saying is similar situation talking about weapons of mass destruction. And back then, in the same confusion, it took a long time. Years later, we still don't know. He's not saying blame it on President Bush. He's just saying that weeks in a place like Libya, it could take a long time before somebody actually knows what exactly happened. We also have a report from the Wall Street Journal that it looks as if the intelligence was flawed. That's what he's saying, sir.
But it's time for the President of the United States to tell us whether or not he was aware that this consulate had been attacked twice before. And if he was aware, what did he do to protect that consulate?
But my question for you, sir, and I agree with you on that. I agree. I agree. But the point and my question to you is...
Well, then why doesn't he answer it?
The point and my question to you is, does Matthew Dowd have a point that it could take far longer than 2 weeks or 4 weeks before people understand what happened? He's saying the example when he was working for the Bush administration was weapons of mass destruction. Does he have a point?
He has a point about some parts of this incident. He does not have a point about the part of the incident that refers to what was the president's knowledge. Did the president take steps to protect our ambassador and the other people there? Didn't he take steps to do that? And why wasn't that information made available for a month and a half? Those are very valid points that do not take 5 years to figure out.
And those are valid points that Michael Dowd did not make. Michael Dowd did not say that. Thank you for talking with us, Mayor Giuliani.
Well, okay.
We're out of time. We always enjoy chatting with you. Wakes me up, that's for sure. Thank you, sir.